Hi everybody, this is Robert at Scott Leroy Marketing. Today we're going to show you how to use the new interface for area pages in your KW website powered by Placester. This video does assume that your KW website powered by Placester is already set up either by us or by you following along with the Placester 101 class at slmtraining.com. This does assume that you already know the content that's in the Placester 101 class. Our first step is going to be to get logged into our mykw.kw.com homepage, and then up in our very top black menu, we'll hover over Technology, then we'll click the third option down, KW Websites. And then on this page, we'll click our red Go to My Website button. Once the Placester interface loads, over on the left, we'll click on Edit Site. And then first, we're going to create a page before we go and create an area. We're going to create a page to list the areas that we're going to create over here. So we'll click our plus sign here on the Pages page. And instead of the Testimonials Index template that it selects by default, we're going to select Areas Index. Index means list. List means index. They're the same thing. Wherever you see index, think list. It means it's a list of areas that we're going to create over here. For your page title, you can give this a name to be anything that you want. It could be something like Areas Served, Areas I Work, Where I Work, Communities Served. I'm going to call it Area Spotlights, and you can use that if you want to as well. Down here in the page content, it's up to you whether or not you want to add any page content that would show above the list of your area pages. I'm going to leave this blank for the time being, but you can add content here if you want. If you want to do that, just pause the video, type in your content, and then restart the video to pick up where we left off. Scrolling down to the bottom here, we want to make sure to leave this box checked, add this page to my menu. We do want this to show in your menu. And then for the meta title and meta description, you can refer to our SEO class or maybe to our Placester 201 class to learn more about what to put in these boxes here. We can send you that information if you send us an email. Down here at the bottom right, we're going to click on Save to apply these changes. It's going to pop up and say this page was added to your menu. Would you like to edit the menu label order? No, we don't need to do that, so we'll close it. Now we'll jump over to our Areas section here, and we're going to click the plus sign to create a new area. For the area page title, typically you want to title this the area that you're writing about. So whatever specific subdivision or city or county or section of your city that you're writing about, you want to give that title here. Now, speaking of cities and counties to write about, typically you don't want to write about such a large area because everyone and their mother has written about your city. Not everyone has written about this specific subdivision, maybe the subdivision you live in, or maybe a brand new subdivision that builders are still working on, and the only thing able to be found on the internet about this subdivision is maybe these are the listings that are coming soon. So if you want to write about a specific subdivision, that's typically what we're going to recommend. And we actually have a template exactly for that that makes you the local expert for this particular subdivision. When people are searching for subdivisions, they may be looking for listings, but they're also looking for information about what is around this subdivision or what the prices are like in this subdivision or what the average square footage or average beds and baths. And that's exactly what's in our template, and I'll show you more about that later. So you want to be as local as possible. It's called being hyper-local. So for this page title, I'm going to call this just My Neighborhood. You can title this whatever area that you're writing about. And then down here for search criteria, add search criteria, in this drop-down, I am going to select neighborhood. You can write about anything as big as even your state or your zip code or county or city, but typically, like I said, we're going to recommend neighborhood. So that's what I'm going to select here. Then we'll click Add over on the right. And what it's going to do is give me a search box to search neighborhoods that are covered by my MLS. This is only going to show you areas that are covered by your local MLS. So I'm going to put in an E here because that's the most common letter in the English language. And we'll do Jonesboro East. I don't know exactly what's in Jonesboro East, and it's probably a pretty big area, but I'm going to pretend this is a small subdivision. We don't need to add any additional search criteria because it just gets bigger from there, so we're not going to add anything else here. For the default sort, this is choosing how to sort listings that are going to show at the bottom of this area page. Every area page will show listings from the area that's selected here out of the MLS, and you're choosing how to sort them. So this is going to depend on what kind of area that you're writing about. Highest price first may work very well for maybe an area with a lot of luxury listings. Lowest price first may work well for an area that may have a lot of flippers, a lot of investment properties, things like that. Total images most is probably your safest bet. This is going to be the listings that have the most images in the MLS, so that you can't get at the top of the list, you can't get listings that say no images available because that agent didn't do their job and didn't put in listings right when they, or excuse me, didn't put in images right when they entered the listing. Days on site newest is going to show the freshest listings from this area that you're writing about. That's a great choice. Days on site oldest is going to show quote unquote the stalest listings, the ones that have been on the market longest. Most beds or baths may be another good one for luxury area, or maybe multifamilies or something like that. Year built newest would probably be great for brand new subdivisions. This is going to be the newest ones, maybe ones that are still under construction, but they have the plans on the MLS because they're hoping to sell this house before it's even built. And then you've also got year built oldest. That would be great for maybe a historic neighborhood in your area. And that's what I'm going to select, is year built oldest. These are going to be the ones that were built longest to go. And then lastly, we've got default results per page. That's how many listings do you want to show at the bottom of your search, of your area page before they have to click the next arrow to go see more listings. You have the option of 10, 20, or 50. I'm going to select 50. I'm not sure there are 50 listings in this area. It looks like there's only 12 actually, but we'll do 50 just to show the maximum number. And what it's telling me down here is these are the 12 listings in this particular subdivision, and they're going to be sorted by year built oldest, which looks like it's this 1308 Pardue Street. So we're going to leave this up here where it is, and you can tinker with this later if you want to, and if you have questions, send us an email. Down here underneath that, we've got this checkbox for should this area be featured? And what that means is on that areas index page that we created a few minutes ago, by default, areas are going to be listed alphabetically. So you would have, Aventura is the first A name that I came up with. That would be at the top of the list, followed by Boynton, followed by Catskills, followed by, whatever's D or whatever. If you check this box, this particular area would show above that alphabetical list. So say this was, this is Jonesboro, so this is a J, or this is my neighborhood, it's an M, that's going to be farther down the list. But say this is where you really want to do a lot of work, this is one that you're very proud of, or you put a lot of work into this area page, you may want to check that box and make it featured so it'll show above the alphabetical list. Now, if you check this box for multiple area pages, say that you've got 3 or 4 area pages that you've created and you check this box, that featured section is going to be alphabetical, and then it's going to start over alphabetical with the ones that are not featured. Under that, we've got this section for the slideshow. This is very similar to the slideshow on the home page of your KW website powered by Placester, with one big difference. There's no limit to how many images you can add to the slideshow. On the home page, it's a maximum of 5. On this slideshow, you can add as many images as you want. So I'm going to upload several images to my slideshow here. I've got 5 images here that I found for free on the internet, and if you want information about how to find free images to use on your website, especially on area pages and blog posts, send us an email. We can send you the link to that class for where to find those. Another great source of images for this particular area that you're writing about is you drive over and you take some pictures with your cell phone. Take a picture of the sign maybe for the subdivision, take a picture maybe down the street showing several houses, take a picture of, a feature that it's close to, maybe a hospital or a school or a shopping center or a cinema, something like that, a downtown area. That would be great stuff to put into the slideshow, and you took those pictures, so you have 100% permission to do whatever you want with them. So I'm going to add all 5 of these pictures here. Now, if you'll notice underneath the upload file box, it lets you know these images should be 1600 pixels wide by 600 pixels tall. So 1600 wide by 600 tall. This last image that I uploaded is not in any form or fashion wider than it is tall. They want it to be roughly 3 times wider than it is tall. And this image is not. So it's going to show very funny on the area page. And I'll show you what that looks like once we get this all saved. Down here in the page content, this is where I'm going to go over to our template, our fill-in-the-blank template that we provide for free to you guys through your Market Center subscription. I'm going to go grab that template from our website. So I'm going to open a new tab, Control-T or Command-T if you're on a Mac, and I'm going to go to scottleroymarketing.com/templates. And that is with an S, that's plural. And then that page may ask you to log in. You're going to log in using your Market Center number, just the numbers, just the digits, no number sign, no MC. On this page, we're going to scroll down and we're going to look for, there we go, we're going to look for local area blogs. And you can do Control F or Command F to just search blogs. And it's about halfway down the list here. We'll click on that. And it's going to open up a Google Drive file, a Google Doc, or excuse me, a Google Drive folder, and we'll open up this Google Doc. Now, this is our template. We can't give you edit permission on this template because then you'd be editing it for everybody who ever looked at it. So instead, all you're going to do is copy and paste the sections here into your area page template. So we're going to start with the page content here. We already took care of our area title and the type and the sort and all that stuff. We're going to start with the page content. So for the headline here, that very first box, it says it's the hook. You want it to be attention grabbing and welcoming. So you want it to be something like picturesque community of whatever area you're writing about, boasts this, that, and the other, easy travel to such and such, and whatever amenities are in that area. So I'm going to highlight all of that. I'll Control C or Command C to copy it, or you can right click and copy. And apparently you can't do that on Google Drive very easily. So we're going to do Control C. Then we're going to come back over to our Placester page and paste that into our headline. And this is going to be really long, so you're going to have to take your time going through this whole line. And you'll notice here these bracketed sections. Anything within brackets, you're going to want to replace with your actual information that you're plugging into this template. So this is going to be a community of, we'll call it Jonesboro East, because that's the select section that we chose out of the MLS. Then we'll scroll to the right using our arrow keys. We're going to select everything from one bracket to the next. There we go, there's another bracket. So you want this to be, you know, scenery around the area. So something like Jonesboro East boasts, you know, great views of, you know, the mountains. I'm pretty sure there are no mountains in Arkansas, but the mountains, especially in the fall leaf changing, gosh, season. Easy travel to, we'll call this a college. We'll pretend this is a college town. So easy travel to Jonesboro University and a community area, some kind of feature that's available for this area. And it has a community clubhouse with gated pool. Okay, pretend this is a nice area. So that is our headline, that's our hook. You want this to be attention grabbing. Next, we're going to come back to our template, to this body copy section, and we're going to highlight this section right here. So such and such name, you want to repeat that name as often as you can because that's a quote unquote meta tag. If people are searching for Jonesboro East, you want to mention Jonesboro East as many times as you can in natural language on this page. So we're going to copy that, Control C or Command C, come back to Placester. Oops. Okay, so we're going to do Control Shift V. That's to paste without formatting. We don't want the green. We just want, and we don't want the bullet. We just want the brackets. So Control Shift V or Command Shift V to paste without formatting, and that's V as in Victor, not B as in Bob. Okay, so we're going to call this again Jonesboro East. Oops. Is a community by, and if you know the name of the builder, you can put that in here. If you don't know the name, you can leave that out. Near, we'll call this, you know, 9th Avenue and Jefferson Street. In, we'll call this Jonesboro, Arkansas. Arkansas, yeah. And then we'll say Jonesboro East again. We want to repeat that as many times as we can. Is situated just X minutes or miles from such and such grocery store. So pretend this is walking distance. We'll call this 3/4 of a mile from the local, we'll call it just Kroger. And then X miles or minutes from such and such interstate. Pretend it's, you know, just a quick 5-minute jaunt. And for this interstate, we'll call it Interstate 75. I don't even know what 75 is or where it goes. And then and X minutes or miles from such and such elementary school. So we'll call this 7 miles, no, we'll call this 2 miles, from such and such school and then just a couple of minutes from the middle school, we'll call this 4 miles from such and such middle school. That was the name I came up with. And then just 10 minutes from such and such high school. And then if there's any other important local destination around this place, say it's close to a hospital or close to the beach or close to maybe a military installation or something like that, you'd want to add additional stuff in here. Now we're going to remove that part there because that's instructions to you. And then under that, we have this section to upload a file. This is going to be a separator image between section 1 and then section 2. And this is going to go across the full width of the page. So it says it should be 600 pixels wide. That's a minimum number. You want it to be at least 600 pixels wide. If it's bigger than that, it will shrink it down to fit within 600 pixels wide. So you want to start bigger and have it go smaller if it needs to. You don't want to start smaller, say 300 or 400 pixels, and have it blow it up to 600 because then it'll look grainy and pixelated. So again, if you want instructions for how to find high quality images for your site, just send us an email, we can get you those. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to add area page section images, got this nice rose picture, but this would be a great place for a picture of that shopping center you mentioned, or a school or a military installation, whatever you listed in this first section here. Next, we've got our subheader, so we're going to drop back over to our template section here. Our subheader is going to, you want it to segue into home or neighborhood features. So we'll select all of this here, and then paste that into our Placester subhead here. So we're going to list a couple of features that are typical to the houses in this neighborhood. So we're going to call this, let's see, privacy fences, wide sidewalks, and cul-de-sacs galore, galore. Oops, wide sidewalks, not wide walks. Combine to make for an exquisite home. And if you're writing maybe about an area that has a lot of vacation homes or something like that, you can add in home away from home or second home or something like that. I'm going to remove this because we're pretending this is like a family-oriented area. This is cul-de-sacs, it's safe, wide sidewalks, privacy fences, all that. So we're going to come back over to our template for our body copy. So we're going to start here, select down to this last bracket, Control-C to copy, Control-V is in Victor to paste. Sorry, Control-Shift-V is in Victor to paste. Homes in Jonesboro East. Remember, we want to repeat that name a lot. Oops, combine to make, we want to add that in the header here. There we go. So homes in Jonesboro East range from such and such to such and such square feet. We'll call it 14 to 1900 square feet, from 2 to 3 bedrooms, 2 to 3 bathrooms, on typically 2 levels. And the average price of homes sold in, and you want to list the previous year, so this is 2018, so we'll call it 2017. Oops, I forgot my numlock. 2017, I got my insert key on, was between, we'll call it 160,000, got to put that $sign in the front, and 175,000. Many have privacy fences and occasionally pools, such and such garages. We'll call this a 2-car attached garages. And then if there's anything else common or relevant to this neighborhood, you maybe want to put in you know, long front lawns, or I don't even know. And every street terminates in a cul-de-sac. There we go. And that's what makes this area attractive. You want to put in this section what makes this particularly attractive. Scrolling down again, we've got now 2 spots where we can upload separator images. These are going to show side by side in vertical orientation, whereas this one separator image here is horizontal orientation, or landscape. Down here, these are vertical or portrait orientation. So you want them to be taller than they are wide. And again, this 300 pixel number is a minimum. You want minimum 300 pixels wide. So I'm going to do this image here, eventually, and then this image here. These are just images I found. They're not relevant to anything else. So in this section here, you may want to take pictures of those wide sidewalks, or the privacy fences, or the pools, or something like that in that area. You might need to get permission from the homeowners to take pictures of things like that. Maybe not sidewalks, those are public areas, but maybe pools or privacy fences or whatever features. Or maybe say this is a new neighborhood, or there are some vacant listings here. Go take pictures to your heart's content. Down here, we've got our third subheading, or excuse me, our second subheading, our third heading. So we want this to say something like, such and such area is such and such friendly. So we're going to call this again, the name of the area, Jonesboro East, is also, and we're pretending this is a family-friendly area, but we can say this is family and pet-friendly, or say this is, you know, kind of a retirement community, or maybe there's a lot of older people that live here, or say there's a lot of college students that live in this area, or families with staying-at-home college students, or military families. This is where you would put that information in. So we'll call this family and pet-friendly. And then we'll put in why it's family and pet-friendly. So we're going to copy this last section here. Paste that in, right? Control-Shift-V. And then again, we want to use that Jonesboro East tag a lot. Is great for, yeah, we'll call it young families. Take everything else out of there. Because of, and we'll call it, like I said, we'll put in the features, school zone, close to schools, you know, park nearby, whatever. Because of the nearby parks, well-lit streets, and private security on the road to the school 2 blocks away. Something like that. Or you could put in, it's, oops, forgot to put a space here. It's great for military families because it's, you know, just a 20-minute drive from such and such military installation, things like that. Or it's great for maybe a vacation home because it's just 45 minutes from the water. It's in an affordable area, but it's still easy to get to the water, something like that. And then there is no separator image at the bottom of section 3. Down here in options here, this excerpt is a short summary of this area page without rewriting the whole area page. And we have that in our template as well. So for the option here, for the excerpt, we're going to go ahead and put, going to copy this, Control-Shift-V to paste it. Again, we want that tag as much as possible. Jonesboro East is a great place to build a family, retire, get away from it all, be near your work, anything like that. So we're going to raise a family in safety and comfort in whatever city. Arkansas. And then this featured image is going to show at the very top of the page, or excuse me, no it's not. It's going to show on the areas index page. Remember that index page we created where it's going to list these areas? This is the first image people are going to see before they click on to go view this individual area page. So you can use one of the images out of the slideshow, one of those separator images, a different image if you want. I'm going to choose one of those slideshow images. We'll do this one. And then if you want more information about what to put in a meta title and a meta description, definitely check out our search engine optimization class. We can send you that if you send us an email. I'm just going to put Jonesboro East here. And then actually I'm just going to copy and paste the excerpt into here. Then we'll save that. So now if I go up here and do View Live Site on Scott's site, we can see all the work we just did. So we're going to click on area spotlights to get to our areas index or our list of area pages. And then on this page, we've got our one neighborhood here, my neighborhood. It's got that featured image I put there. Here is my excerpt. And I'm going to click on read more or on the image to go see the full page. Here on the full page, the first thing you should see is this slideshow of those images that are much, much wider than they are tall. And if we let this slide through, if we go over to this last one, that was that sailboat, that catamaran, which is not letting me click over there. So we're just going to have to wait. You see this catamaran, you can see some of the sails. It's because this image is so much taller than it is wide. You want these to be much wider than they are tall. You can click on View All Listings to see listings in this area. And then down here is the actual content we created for this area page. It looks amazing, it's arranged very well, and it's going to have some great information in here about that area because you're using our template. So the picturesque community of such and such, here is our content, here's that separator image. You can make this shorter if you want, so it's not such a big separation between this section and this section. And then we've got our subheading, private fences, blah, blah, blah. And then here's all the features for these homes. Here's those two separator images. And then here's this last section, also family and pet friendly, blah, blah, blah. And then down here are the listings in that area. And they're sorted by oldest by year built. It looks like this is a commercial listing, but then here is some residential, some more commercial, goodness, some more commercial, a lot of commercial, and then residential. So you may want to update your global filters maybe to not show commercial. But so these are those listings, and they're sorted again by default as you chose year built, but you can change that sort, and so can the client here on this page. And you can even zoom out to see farther out about where this is in relation to other places. So that's how you can use the new Placester Area Pages interface using our template to fill it in. It's really easy, fill in the blank, you just got to do a little bit of research. If you have questions about this, feel free to send us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com.